Hello lovelies, Holly here with Two Magpies Treasures, and I'm coming to you today to share a project with you. I will show you an example. Now, I've not seen any videos of people doing this, although I'm sure that, I didn't invent it. I'm sure there's plenty of people doing it. I just haven't seen a video for it. So here is an example of one that I've done for a previous journal. So you can see it's, it's not really a journaling card because there's not any space to journal, but it's more of a, I guess, sort of a specimen card. But we have our lovely fairy there printed on vellum. So you have that nice translucence. Kind of reminds me of a giant photo negative or slide. And she's between two pieces of plastic just to sort of protect that vellum. You can see her from both sides. But when I, came up with the idea for myself, I just thought that it was really cute, really pretty. So I'm going to share a version of this with you today. So let's put her and the giant journal away for now. So what we're going to do today is a Christmas tag, or a tag for a Christmas journal that I'm working on. And now I've been working on a traditional sort of Christmas journal with, your traditional greens and reds and golds. There's one of the little elements I've been working on to put in it. But I saw when Angela Kerr came out with her Happy Holidays kit. That's this here. This is just part of it. It's an absolutely huge kit. And then Tracy Fox came out with her Glad Tidings. I just fell in love with both of them. And I thought, you know what? I think they would actually go well together. So I'm actually going to make a pastel Christmas journal this year as well. Never made a Christmas journal before this year, so I'm making up for time by making 2 Christmas journals this year. But what I'm going to do today is work on a tag to go into this pastel Christmas journal. And I am going to use, let me find the page. It's, here we go. One of these tag pages from Tracy's kit. Now she has sort of these ready to go tags. You don't have to do anything but cut them out, put a ribbon or some sort of tab on the top, or just little bits of decoration if you want, and they're perfect, good to go straight away into your journal. But then she also has these lovely ones, which are just begging for you to do something with them. You could use them simply to journal on. You could write on that space very easily, but you can also use that space to really, be a base for your own creation of a tag. So what I've chosen today, the tag we're going to do, I'm using this page here. And we're going to use these 2 tags. And so you don't have to sit and watch me cut out very laboriously these tags, I did do a little bit of prep work, and I've already cut these two out. So for the image that I want to use, I'm going to some vintage Christmas images from tailor-made journals, and I'll try to remember to link all the shops down below so you can go and check these things out for yourself if you want to. This is just one page of, gosh, I think there's something like 64 of these images, and they're just gorgeous. But I wanted to use one of these, and as I was going through, it was a really difficult choice to make which one to use. But I did finally go with this one. And I don't know how well you can see on camera, but oh, she's just this sweet little girl with her little tree there. And I chose this one particularly because it does have some of the really pale pinks and blues in there, and I thought it would coordinate well with our tags. So what we're going to do, oh, and before I move on, you could actually, if you wanted to, instead of printing on the vellum, you can actually print directly on some of the, gosh, I can't think what to call it. It's like overhead projector sort of plastic. And this one in particular is made for printing in an inkjet printer, which is what I have. But this is an example of the photos printed on this overhead plastic. But I wanted to print on the vellum because I think it just gives that nice, soft, more vintagey look to it. So that's what I've done. I'll move those out of the way. And so I went ahead and cut out the image that we're going to use. Actually, it's that right there. That's a little bit better print than this bigger one, I think. But it actually fits better. If I use that, that's going to take up most of the tag, and you're not going to see any of the prettiness that Tracy came up with. But we're going to use that one. Okay. So the first thing after you've cut your tag bases and your picture out, I measured both the tag and the picture, and for my particular one, now yours, could vary wildly, but my picture is 6 centimeters wide and 8 centimeters tall. Now, I don't have to show that entire print area. Okay, I can make the aperture on the tag smaller than that. But that's just what I have to work with here. The tags, as I've printed them, are 7.5 centimeters wide and 16.5 centimeters tall. So I did a little figuring, a little bit of maths, and I went ahead and did this. Didn't want to try to work this out on camera, but I marked the back of my tags at 1 centimeter in on each side and 4.5 centimeters from the top and bottom. So I made 2, you can just about see it there. I made 2 marks here, 2 here, 2 there, and 2 there, and then I just sort of joined them all up using my ruler, because I'm lucky to draw a straight line using a ruler myself. But we'll see if I can cut a straight line using a ruler, because I didn't cut them in advance. Okay, so now that I've got this all marked out for myself, I am going to hold my breath and try cutting our aperture out. Now, hopefully I don't get my big head in the shot because nobody wants to see that. But I love this ruler because not only can I see through it, and it has all these extra lines that I can line it up every ½ centimeter. But it also has, you can't see it at all, but it has a metal edge there so that I can use my craft knife and cut against it. And it's not going to cut into my ruler. All right, so let's line that up. Get out my manky half-broken craft knife here and just slowly cut along there. And yep, that looks like it's gone through. And hopefully I'm staying in the shot. This is my first video, guys, so, you know, please do be gentle. I've had friends who have kept encouraging me to film, so I have finally bitten the bullet, so they say, and just turned on the camera. So goodness knows what this will actually look like, the video I mean, once it's done. Alright, let's see. It has just about gone all the way through. It's just my corners have not quite met up there. I'm not going to bother with the ruler, which is probably, okay, good, a mistake, knowing my skills. Let's see, did that. There we go. And, oh, you're not stuck. Get out of there. Don't pull it, Holly. You will rip it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. All right, let's see what we've got. Lovely. Let's put our little lady behind. Trying to get her lined up. Come on, little one. Oh, it's not... It's being a pain because the vellum is folding up. Ooh. Oh my goodness, isn't that precious? All right, so let's do the other one because we need a backside to that as well. Line it up. So I wonder, what are you guys up to? Are you making a Christmas journal, or like me, making multiples when I've never even bothered to do a Christmas journal in the past? And I've amused myself because I've found, even though I've never made a Christmas journal in the past, it's shocking how many Christmas dies and embossing folders and stamps and things like that I have when I've never even made a Christmas journal. So one thing, if you stick with me, you'll find that I am a bit of a craft tool and DigiKit junkie. Oh dear. Hi, my name is Holly. I am a crafting addict and I don't want to stop. All right, so there is that one. So because Tracy, left all that, nice space in the middle, we've not lost her beautiful images around the edges. All right, so now what I need to do is not glue that down yet. Not glue that down yet, Holly. You're trying to jump. All right, so what I'm going to do is ink these edges. Where's the ink? There it is. And don't you just love my parchment paper there? Looks like I've been setting things on fire. Nope, just inking. I actually have an ink blending mat, but you know, more often than not, I just grab a piece of parchment. Oh, that's a little bit heavy-handed on there, but oh well, what you gonna do? And then actually, very often, once I have, you know, used the parchment for a while to do my inking, I'll actually just cut it up and make little vellum bags or envelopes and whatnot with it. So it nicely does double duty, or probably lots more than double duty, truth be known. So inking is not one of my favorite things to do, but it's got to be done for the look, doesn't it? Alright, so you don't have to just sit here and watch me ink this, I'm going to go off camera and finish the inking, which I've almost finished now, just running my mouth. But I'm going to go off camera, finish inking just that aperture, and I'm going to sew each one of these. Now, I could wait until I've, you know, put it together to sew round, but then I would have a, one side's going to have the, oh my goodness, the bobbin thread, and you know, sometimes that can look a little bit messy, the back side of sewing. So what I like to do often is actually sew each piece individually so that it just looks like they've been sewn together, when, you know, in actuality each piece is sewn separately, so you don't have that messy backside showing anywhere. We don't want messy backsides, do we? But I'll go off camera, finish that little bit of inking, and sew around each piece, and then I'll come back to you. All right, lovelies, I am back. You can't really see it from there, can you? But the sewing is done. It's really, really pale pink. Oh, can you see? There you go. Now, remember I said that I like to do each side separately so that you can't see the ugly backside? Here is why I do that. My sewing, goodness knows why, is look at that. You really, really wouldn't want to see that on any visible part of a tag, would you? But it seems, well, it definitely is a lot worse than usual, and I don't know why. I don't have my dear sweet mother-in-law here now to tell me. She was the seamstress. I'm definitely not a seamstress, but she was my go-to. She's the one who taught me the little bit that I actually do know. But I don't have her here now. Rest her soul. Bless her. Anyway, I don't have her, so can you guys tell me, what is my problem? Well, I've got lots of problems, but what is the problem with my machine? Is maybe the tension not set right? I don't have a clue. If you know, will you tell me down in the comments, pretty please? Anyway, I'll use some glue to tack that down so we can hide it in between the layers. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that so maybe it can be drying while I'm working on the next part. Just fold that in. Just tack that down. Where else? Here, dear Lord. So am I the only one who has a sewing machine pretty much just for paper crafting? To be fair, I do try to do a little bit of sewing, but I'm just pretty clueless. You know, anybody who saw my fabric stash would think I was, you know, a right seamstress. But I just have it because it's pretty and because I want to use it in my journals. So, ooh, everywhere. And just in case you're curious what glue I'm using here, it's Kalal. I think I'm saying that right. And just in a little bottle with the needle sort of nozzle to it. Makes it much easier to work with. And I like this glue actually. I'm in the UK, so art glitter glue is, well, we can get it easily enough, but in my opinion it's a bit pricey. So I had not even tried it until recently. I finally broke down and ordered some. I wanted to try it, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I need to give it a bit of time, I suppose. Keep trying it. But right now, the Collal is my go-to. You know, this one, the art glitter glue, just seems sort of wet to me, whereas the Collal it's a solvent-based glue, so it doesn't have that sort of wet reaction on your paper, puckering the paper and whatnot. But listen to me sounding like an expert. Ha ha, not. All right, so while my little threads are hopefully gluing down there in place, our next step is we need to cut out our plastic to protect that vellum, basically. So I measured, now that wasn't a smart thing to do. I was going to show you how I figured out the sizing for the plastic. I'll just not put the ruler down fully on it. So our aperture is about 5.5 centimeters wide and 7.5 centimeters tall. So obviously we don't want to cut the plastic at exactly that, otherwise, you know, it's not going to hold. And we don't want to make it wider because we don't want it to stick out of the tag. So I am thinking if we cut the plastic at about 6.5, where's that going to put it? If I say 6.5, yeah, that gives us a bit of wiggle room. Gives us about 0.5 centimeter on each side, so it's going to have a bit to grip on each side but not stick out. And then about 9.5 tall. It doesn't matter as much tall because we've got a lot of room. You know, it's not going to stick out, but we also don't want to, you know, waste too much of our plastic. And I'll talk about the plastic in a second. By about 9.5, I think that'll give plenty of grip room. The plastic, what I'm using here is, actually, I don't know where I got it. It's just part of a piece. I've used part of it already. To be honest, I don't know where I got it. I had bought some plastic for projects. Not sure where the pack is now. Probably used most of it already. But one thing you can do, you can see I've got this nice big piece of plastic. And you can see it's come off of a package. And I think that's a nice big one. I think this probably came off one of the Christmas bath sets last year. So when you're getting those Christmas gifts or when the kids are getting the toys, watch out for those nice plastic panels. And then I also save, so you can see what the magpies have for dinner. Save these packages. Now, I could take that plastic out and use it like I'm going to do now, but equally, I can trim this down and make a nice tag or a big journaling card or a shaker. There's all sorts of things you can do with these things. So just think about, oh, okay, just static. These things do get really staticky. But just think about your packaging and, what you can do with it. I love to recycle and upcycle things when I can. So I try to, come up with ideas, and I'm always happy to hear more ideas. All right, so our plastic. Let's see. So I know you can't see this, and I'm turning away from the microphone, so you probably couldn't hear me either. I'm gonna get my Sharpie. You can sort of see the plastic, I suppose. So I'm gonna mark where I want to cut this, and it would be helpful if I actually lined it up with my cutting mat. That would be a smart thing, huh? Use the grid lines, Holly. They are your friend. All right, so what did I say? 6.5. Yep. By 9.5. Actually, I'm going to turn this. It'll be easier for me. Oh, gosh. You can't see the plastic. I barely can. All right, so I think about, I don't want to make my mark there because that's going to show. I got that lined up. Tell you what, guys, I'm going to do it at 10 just because I'm having such a hard time seeing this plastic. I don't want to make a mistake. Now, I'm going to be really silly, probably is the word for it. What's that look? No, I'm not. I am going to be smart. Okay, I'm going to cut there. So here, and I'm going to join up my lines like I did on the backs of the tags. Because, oh no, don't do that. Ooh, hopefully that won't be in the area that we can see. Yikes. What was I saying? Yeah, making the marks like I did on the back of the tag so I can see where to cut, because I am not good at cutting straight lines. And now I have Sharpie on my ruler. brilliant. All right, so you can see my marks there. And I'll actually need 2 of these to angle this where I can see the marks. Yeah, I'll need 2 of these, one for each side of the tag. So I'm just going to use this one that I've already cut as my template to cut the next one, if I can get it lined up, that is. Okay. It doesn't have to be exact as long as, you know, it's big enough to cover up that opening. If you make it too small, you know, that's not going to work. Too big, we can cut it down. If it's too small, you'll have to cut another piece. So let's see. Put that there. Nice. I don't know if you can see, but you see my line. It is outside of our viewable area, so that is good. And even my smudges are mercifully out of the viewable area. Brilliant. Lucky, lucky day. All right, so I'm going to use my collal. And just as a warning, if you've not used collal before and you do want to use it, the reason that I put it in the little bottle is it comes out, especially this big nozzle, it comes out quickly. So you do need to be careful with it. Otherwise, you could ruin your project. And where did I put that? I want to just take, I've got a lens cloth somewhere. Where is it, Holly Girl? Aha, found it. I'm glad you can't see the rest of my desk. You can just see a little area. I want to use the lens cloth just to wipe off dust and things, because this plastic does have static, so it picks up any dust or fingerprints too, obviously. So before I glue it down, I'll just give it a quick wipe off. And I'm just going to use my collal and go just right around the outside edge, just a very, very thin line of the glue. So don't want it squishing in and making a mess in, you know, the viewable area of our tag. What kind of glues do you guys like? Introduce me to some more glorious glues. All right, I'm just going to gently tap that down all around. Put that aside so it can dry. And another good thing about the collal is it does dry quickly because it's a solvent-based glue. It dries quickly, so that's always, well, not always, most of the time, a good thing for us crafters. And I am getting fingerprints on this, but once it's dry, I can always go back with my cloth. Ooh, get in there a little bit. And I keep just a bit of towel, an old towel that I had. Just have a bit that I cut off of that to wipe my hands off now and then when I need to. Wipe off a bit of glue or whatnot so I don't ruin my projects. All right. So you see the plastic in there. So those are ready. Now, I don't even really need to wait for that glue to dry because I'm pretty sure it's mostly dry already. And all I'm doing is cleaning the inside of the plastic, because once I stick this down, we're not going to be able to access that plastic. Now, which side? I wanted this side, oh sorry, I'm out of frame. I wanted this side to be my front. So I am going to take my little photo and put it face down on that side. Okay, let's check. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm just going to put again, a thin line of glue around the photo. You know, be careful when you are putting the glue on the printed vellum, because sometimes, because it's an inkjet, sometimes the ink will run. So, you know, just be careful not to get the glue where it's going to cause the ink to run in your viewable area. And another tip with the inkjet prints, like on vellum or plastic or even on paper, if you can print it, say the night before, the day before you're going to use it, and just let it sit, the ink is much less likely to run. So, you know, if you have to print something and then use it straight away, you have to be extra careful with an inkjet printer, because, you know, it can still run. I love, love, love my printer, but, you know, it is an inkjet. Ooh. Okay, so there's our lovely little girl. So now let's put the back side on. Let's give that another little wipe. Now I can be more generous with the glue. I'm going to start just going around the edge. Ooh. I don't want it to squish out the edges, but here on the inside bits, I can be more generous because we want it to stick together nicely. Do be careful though when you're putting it on the plastic. Don't get too close to the aperture, because we still, you know, don't want it to squish into that viewable area. I'm gonna try lining it up with the bottom. And the collal does give you, you know, a few seconds of working time to get things lined up. That looks pretty good to me, so I'm just going to put that on top. I don't want to put my manky fingerprints everywhere. I might have ink on my fingers as well, so I don't want to do this just with my hands. across it, even the back side, the photo, you can see it. It's cute. Oh, isn't she sweet? All right, so now I am going to add a little bit of ink just because that doesn't line up absolutely perfectly. So I will ink that edge a little bit, and then you can't see that teensy tiny bit of white. You could cut it off, but it's such a tiny bit that, it's really not worth it, especially with my cutting skills. I'll try to cut off a tiny bit and cut right through the middle of it. So yeah, I'd rather just put a little bit of ink on it. All right, so now we want to decorate. What do we want to put on here? Let's see. I want to put, I know I've got that lovely graphic there, but I just want to put something down here. Let's see. Grab my little bucket of little cutout things I have here. Most of this right now is, the traditional. We've got a little bit of, pink things. But most of this is the traditional sort of colors. I've not set the scan and cut to cutting out all the pretty pastels and pinks yet. Oh, come on, surely. Aha. Let's see. Let's audition you. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. That is pretty. Let's give you some ink. Runaway blender. Does anybody else like the sound of the parchment paper? Or am I just the weird one around here? Well, I am the weird one, but I don't think I'm alone. I love paper. Obviously, if I'm paper crafting. I always joked that, my love for paper and stationery was, the whole reason that I became a teacher. And then the paperwork for a teacher just became too much. You got to have some limitations, guys. I did love teaching, though. Loved it. It was a calling. What do we think? That's cute. But I think I want something to sort of set that up, to set it off from the tag. I feel like it needs a bit of something else. Let's look in our trims. Much too bright. Oh, I do love it though. That's a piece of silk. Just love stroking silk. Ooh. Don't throw away your teensy tiny bits of fabric, your tiny little offcuts, because look what you can make. A little snippet roll. Let's audition a bit of this, shall we? Let's put the pin back in the glue before we have a problem. There we go. that. Let's try another little bit of it. That's cute. You have the pink and the green. Just not sure about that though. Okie dokie, let's see. What else do we have here? Ooh, what about some cheesecloth? Surely I've got a little bit in here. Can you tell that I love laces? Never would have guessed it looking in here. Aha, there we go. Let's see, let's just get one layer, please. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that better. Yeah. But I don't like the stark whiteness of that. So, and I'm not sure at the moment where my tea-dyed cheesecloth is. So let's just add a little vintage photo. Vintage photo fixes pretty much everything, doesn't it? At least that's what Tim Holtz would have us believe, right? Oh, it's getting all stringy. Ooh, speaking of stringy, let's... Ooh. I've just given myself another idea. Let's crinkle that up a bit. Stick into my fingers. Oh yeah, I like that. I like it, but when I was talking about stringy, I reminded myself that I have all the little bits of string. Here I've got pink, where I was, can't remember what journal I was doing with the pink before, but these are all the little bits of threads that I cut off. So be a magpie or a, it's just gone right out of my head, a pack rat, that's it. Like me, and save everything. So let's see how that looks. Do we like all of those? I like it. I like it. How about you? Yeah. Now, I realize that I've, covered up quite a bit of that graphic that I like so much, but sometimes we just have to sacrifice. I'm just going to put some glue. Stick this down, squish it around. Whoop, stay there. Not me, not me. I'm not the project. Need to be somebody's project, probably. I think I'll don't quite want so many of my little threads. Couldn't even see them where they were in the middle anyway, could ya? Not once I put the sentiment down. Stay there. All right. Let's put some glue. I'm gonna have to refill my bottle. Glue on the sentiment. The scent of mint. That's good for this time of year, isn't it? Scent of mint. Stick her down, and you can still see some of that graphic around. So yeah, I quite like that. Ooh, let's try to be a little bit straighter, I think. Oh. What do you think? I like that. Now we want to do something with the top. So my usual is to add a brad and a ribbon or string of some sort up here. So let's get the crocodile, the big monster. It is a monstrous thing, isn't it? I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to eyeball this, because despite what you've seen today, I don't really love measuring, but sometimes you sort of have to. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I think that should go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now let's switch it. Where are the brads? There are the brads. Oop. Look at you jumping out there. Let's see. It's stuck together. I love these copper or rose gold. But I think that I'm gonna can't speak. I think I'm going to want to go with silver as the accent in this journal. I use mostly gold in the traditional colored one, but I think silver would be nice with the pastel colors in this one. Oh, and I'm terrible at doing this. I need classes to use this thing. Oh, crunch. All right. It's there. It's there. But you don't see it so much once you get the ribbon or lace in. Now, let us see. I've got that, which is pretty, but I feel like it might not, it's just not big enough, I think. But it might go with something else. Oh, I forgot I had this. Ooh, I like it. That one I think is too peachy. Do that again. That one's peachy, isn't it? And these guys are mainly just the offcut bits, if you can believe it. Some tea-dyed lace. Pretty. Oh, I like that too. Come out of there. That one's quite a big one, isn't it? I think, let me see. Let's see what I have in the sari silk. Or not sari silk, what am I saying? This is seam binding. Or do I just want to go with this one? What do we think about that one? You know, I think I will go with this one. I like, it's already vintaged. It's a new verb, vintaged. It is already vintaged for me, so I am going to use it. Okay. I think that will be about enough. Pokey tool, where are you? I like it. I do. I do. But you know what? I have some little jingle bells. Now, these, I prefer these tiny little ones, but they don't ring. They rattle against one another, but they don't ring. The bigger ones ring. So, and these both, if you're wondering, just came from Hobbycraft. And they came this year, so you should still be able to find them if they've not sold out. So I'm thinking maybe of having, I don't know, one that will jingle, and then maybe a couple of small ones, just to be cute. Cute. How, though, are we going to attach? Will that... this twine could be cute, but I think, yeah, it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit through that hole. It's just too teeny tiny. What else do I have over here? Oh, there is. I like that. It's pink and sparkly. We will ignore the fact that that is gold metallic in there. Just, yeah, don't know what you're talking about. That's silver, of course. Shh, don't tell anybody. Let's try it. Ah. Yeah, and this is not something I should be doing on camera. Watch me struggle. All fingers and thumbs. Well, yeah, let's hope. All thumbs, I suppose, is the saying. I'm not going to say this is going smoother than I expected, because then I will foul everything up. Please, please go in there. Oop. See? Got a problematic guy there. Just going to cut off. It started to fray on me, so... Oh, goodness. Come on, I want one more little bell on. Work with me here. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry you have to see this. Oh my days. Now the other two are falling off. Oh, oh. See, just the suggestion that things were going smoothly. Dearie, dearie me. Okay, I am going to go struggle with this off camera. Lovelies, I got the bells strung up. So now I'm just going to put it through our eyelet. Now, how do I want to secure it? That is the question. I think I will just perhaps do a double knot. Of course, my fingers don't want to work. And I don't have nice little delicate fingers good for crafting. I have to make do with holly hands. And that didn't work. Ah, I know. I know. Yeah, you can tell I didn't plan this part out ahead of time. Nice one, Holly. All right, put those two tails of the seam binding through there. Oh, let's get that out of the way. Then put the tails. You can't see what I'm doing at all, can you? Put the tails back through. Tighten up our seam binding. And then I'm going to cut off these extra, well, if I can get it, the extra strings off this bell. Let's see if we can hide that knot behind the seam binding. And there we are. I'm not really going to do anything on the back side. Might do something later, but at the moment I'm happy with that. So hopefully I have given you some ideas, even if it's just what not to do. But that is my little tag with the vellum photo. I hope you like it. And go check out the DigiKits and the photos. I'll remember to link them below. And hopefully you enjoy watching me struggle and will subscribe. So, and remember, if you know anything about sewing, let me know what is going on the back side of my sewing, please. So take care. Happy crafting. See you next time. Bye.